U.S. media reports say President Joe Biden plans to give Ukraine advanced long-range missiles to help the nation face ongoing Russian aggression. They quote U.S. government officials as saying Ukraine will get ATACMS missiles with a range of up to 190 miles. This would enable Kyiv to hit Russian targets deep behind the front lines. President Biden has been hesitant regarding ATACMS deliveries amid fears that such missiles could bring a direct clash with nuclear-armed Russia closer. On Friday, at least one Ukrainian missile hit the headquarters of Russia's Black Sea Fleet in annexed Crimea. Neither the U.S. nor Ukraine have officially confirmed the American media reports. Now, for more updates on the U.S. armed support for Ukraine and other developments around the lingering war between it and Russia, international affairs analyst Yuria Francelli joins me now from the Brazilian capital, Sao Paulo. Mr. Francelli, the U.S. seems desperate to give Ukraine as much backing as possible in enhancing its weaponry. Do you think that this move will not escalate more attacks from Russia?
Good afternoon. It is possible that that happens, but at the same time that the U.S. does it, we have to remember that there are growing tensions between Ukraine and one of its closest allies, which is Poland. And when the U.S. does it, it's also setting an example so other countries will continue to support Ukraine. And that is what he intends to do with that. He wants to show that it still has Ukraine's back.
All right, the war is now heading towards 600 days, and at the United Nations General Assembly, the leaders focused on effective solutions and support for Ukraine. As much as the nation needs diverse support to exist, what do you still think? Do you think diplomacy can do?
I think diplomacy can, it should always be an option. Countries should always get together, trying to find a diplomatic, peaceful solution for problems. But at this point, I think it's very difficult because we see internal affairs of different countries meddling in peace talks. For example, at the UN, the multilateral solutions are actually they're difficult to find right now. We saw some of the world's major, most important members of the UN Security Council. They were not present there. So we can, of course, always talk about diplomacy, but I don't think that it is having a very effective results right now.
All right, one last question for you before I let you go. Now, Moscow had two options for the future of Russia's Black Sea Fleet in Crimea: voluntary or forced self-neutralization. That was according to the Secretary of Ukraine's Security Council. Now, what happens if Moscow does not choose the voluntary option?
Well, we can always expect something. Everything about this war is very unpredictable. So I say that anything can happen, especially when it comes to Russia. We saw Russia having some moves that never happened before. For example, we saw Russia moving nuclear missiles to Belarus. When it comes to Russia, anything can happen. We don't know what they're thinking, so it's very unpredictable.
All right, international affairs analyst Yuria Francelli there, giving us updates on the developments in Ukraine. Thanks so much for your thoughts.